It's Madden NFL 22 on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Colts and the Ravens, and it's coming up next on EA Sports.
They love their crab cakes and they love their football. That's what Maryland does. And we are at M&T Bank Stadium down near the inner harbor of Baltimore. The two teams emerging from their respective tunnels a minute ago to the approval of this Baltimore crowd. They're all set as their Ravens will match up with the Indianapolis Colts. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at our two quarterbacks in this one, it's really a good matchup when you boil it down.
We do indeed, and something I'm going to be watching for. Who can get off to a fast start? If you can go out, get points on the first drive, preferably a touchdown, you can really set the tone for the game. And I think that both of these quarterbacks are more than capable of doing just that.
They left in the middle of a cold night in 1984, but the Colts are back, and we're underway in Baltimore. On the return, Devin Duvernay. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Here comes the Ravens on offense, and the man in charge from Louisville, the former MVP, Lamar Jackson.
Early part of his career, defenses really had to focus on his running ability, and they still do. But now, he's turned himself into a true dual-threat quarterback. When he plants his cleats in the ground and turns it loose, good things happen downfield.
They'll run for the first time with J.K. Dobbins. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. It's a first down and more for Dobbins. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Boy, the offensive line there, that was a thing of beauty to watch them block.
I love how you get a little appreciation for those big guys up front, and well-deserved. But how about the execution behind them? You can see the hours of practice that have gone into it. Great pocket by the running back. Quarterback puts it right in the perfect spot. Great mesh point by them. The timing on point. The run even better.
On 1st and 10, it's Dobbins. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Jackson going to tuck it down on the option. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And down to the 27-yard line. And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that. And here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game. And all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
Jackson going to run again. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Here's a give to Dobbins. And he'll be taken down just shy of the red zone at the 21. 42 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. Third down conversion here is big. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll go option to the short side. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. He'll wind up getting 3 on the keeper there, but it leads to a 3rd down. From the gun, Jackson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That's Darius Leonard, the linebacker who got in and got into the turf. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. Tucker's kick is good, and the Ravens strike first at 3's in. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. So the Colts now coming out for their opening drive. As we get a peek at Matt Ryan, a man who's been in the league since back in 2008.
And when you start with listing a guy's accomplishments like Matt Ryan's, all these years in the league, near the top of the league in completions and percentage, touchdowns each and every year, has won an MVP, taken his team to the Super Bowl. You're talking about a guy who might be finished, but he still has gas left in the tank. Big right arm, great leader, the face of his franchise.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Now 3rd down is looming. A pickup of 2 on first down and just 1 yard there.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
On 3rd down, Ryan. He's got his target. That's Zach Pascal. And he is going to have a Colts first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Start of the 2nd quarter, and it's the Colts in possession as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. This will be taken in by Michael Pittman. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Ryan. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack.
He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage. Well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
The one with the dive look that time on defense just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away.
And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3 except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Tough running, but not a lot to show for it. They stop him shy of the 25. DeForest Buckner in on the tackle. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Dobbins running out of the gun.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
Well, every now and then we have to let a cliche fly, partner. And in this case, what do they say in the NFL? Your best ability is often your availability. And this is an extremely durable kid coming out of Ohio State. Carried the ball every time they even thought about running it. Wore down defenses and able to break big runs late in games. J.K. Dobbins going to Baltimore, an absolute perfect fit. He really looked comfortable there, scanning the situation, analyzing things, feeling the pressure, and then stepping up right through the middle and sprinting for a first down.
Again, Jackson will keep it.
And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do. And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Grover Stewart able to collapse the pocket, get to him, and drop him for a loss of a yard. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. Here's Jackson. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. They give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Now it's Jackson. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35.
But nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team over personal protection.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. Big hole up the middle.
And they work this near the 5. Stopped at the 6. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half.
They'll run with Dobbins.
And the hole closes. He can fight only to about the 4. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. And he gets halfway there. From the 4 to the 2. On a gain of 2. So we're at halftime here in the Inner Harbor with the hometown Ravens on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports halftime report. First, though, a check of the next-gen stats in that first half for the Colts. And they did not do much at all in terms of throwing the football in those first 2 quarters. That's going to need to improve if they want to erase this deficit. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. In a game where 1 field goal was all these offenses could muster in the first 2 quarters, you figure both coaching staffs were needing to make plenty of adjustments. And for the call of the second half, we send it back out to Brandon Gott.
Yes, indeed, Coach. Thanks. Hey, we could use a touchdown. 3-0 as we welcome you back in. And Rodgers will hold on to this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. And maybe time for this offense to really hit the reset button. They were shut out in the first half, but still, they're right in this game.
They certainly are. What I like about it is that you actually continue to play. You know, you just find a way to make a few plays yourself, and you noted it. Right there on the border in this game, they're not that far off. Just got to find a play or 2, and they could be very happy at that point.
And they're going to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Ryan. And this one nearly intercepted. Boy, that would have been a great time for their first pick. But instead, it's 3rd down. An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. And that is incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. They find some open field here. They'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. It's a scintillating run by Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Well, I mean, Lamar Jackson, what more can we say at this point? He is a living, breathing highlight reel, and go ahead and tack on that last play to the list of big ones by number 8.
And the thing that stood out to me was his ability to continue through the initial contact. How many times do we see runners get slowed up and not get what they can on a run because of that first contact? But he kept the compass pointing in the right direction, kept the legs churning, and turned this into a huge play.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10.
A carry by Taylor to start the drive.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
From the 31, Ryan. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Here's Ryan. And that will be incomplete.
Has been a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts. This time on 3rd down.
Now here's Rigoberto Sanchez as he's on to punt for Indianapolis. Averaging 50 yards of boot so far as this one's away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. He's been a good game manager. They're winning here in the 3rd quarter, but really the ground game is where it's been at for them, hasn't it?
So whatever the game plan was, you just got to focus on continuing to run the football. And really that takes the pressure off of the guy throwing it around. Doesn't have to be the focal point. Hand it off, let him chew up the yardage in big plays, and your team's winning. The only people upset, the fantasy guys who may have started him at quarterback in their leagues.
And we'll see if they continue with a recipe of the ground game.
Now Dobbins again on 2nd down.
Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
And they work this well upfield across the 45.
And Brandon, this is the time of the game when Jackson could really take over. He's got the defense's legs a little bit tired. He's got them on the run.
Yeah, this defense looks gassed, and you're exactly right. 2nd half with the lead. This is when Lamar Jackson seems to thrive.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there.
I'll tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Final minute now of the 3rd quarter.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins.
They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the 1st half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. And his kick is good. Oh, he just did tuck it into the bottom of that left corner. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore, where the 4th quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score of the final play of the 3rd quarter. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away.
The drive will start at the 25-yard line here as Rodgers will not return it. Indianapolis offense ready to go again.
And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all, because we're talking about the NFL, and teams can score fast in this league. Quick strikes, you're right back in it. You're exactly right. Keeping hope alive.
They run on 1st down as they're able to get this forward for about 4.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to home and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2.
And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him.
Remember throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. They put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed.
And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there. And now fourth down.
He did a fine job there not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
And that went a little too high as it's knocked away and incomplete.
The Colts unable to convert here on fourth down. And now possession's going to go over with a football at the 20-yard line. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that one that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs and team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple.
They'll go again with Dobbins.
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown.
J.K. Dobbins.
A 13-yard touchdown run.
And the Ravens have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. Well, this, of course, set up by the stop a moment ago on fourth down. And now that might be the score that puts this one officially out of reach.
And it's a tough one because your hands are tied when you're losing in the fourth quarter because you know you've got to make something happen. They couldn't pick up the first down, and after that, the air just went right out of the balloon, and you knew you were looking at a defeated team.
And so they run it in on the two-point try, and it's so often, Charles, we talk about from the offense's perspective what you do on the two-point conversion. How about the defense? How do they play run versus pass?
It's really difficult for them because I think most teams want to play for the pass. That's what they see most teams do. And so are you able to mass enough people inside if the team decides to run it? Very difficult. I think what you're seeing a lot more now, people blitzing the two-point conversion. They want you to make a quick decision and make it right now.
There, the offense wins the battle for two.
And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
And now Indianapolis set to take the field.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages. Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Finding some room at midfield. And finally brought down right at the midfield stripe.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
From midfield now, here's Ryan.
Out of his hands quickly to Pittman.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Colts in possession of the football as we get you reset. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score.
And Ryan's throw taken in by Pascal.
They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Ryan will throw again. Taken in by the tight end Doyle. And he is out of bounds inside the 30.
4 yards remain for second down.
Ryan. Campbell making the catch. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 16. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Too many zeros on the stat sheet thus far. No touchdown passes, no points for his team, but he remains undaunted. Still attempting to get his team on the scoreboard, firing the ball downfield.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion. You figure defensively, in the fourth quarter here, you've held a team under 100 yards passing. You've done your job.
Especially in today's NFL, which is truly a pass-first league.
Meanwhile, on third down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it. Here we go. It's Ryan on fourth down. Now he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. Zach Pascal there to make the grab. And the Colts are finally on the board here in the fourth quarter.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively, though, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Jackson going to give this one to Edwards. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Now the Colts going to burn the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Now the Colts will use their third and final timeout as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the fourth. Then with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. And boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Colts are going to take over with a football. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That is caught. Michael Pittman with it.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Anthony Averett picks it, and the Ravens come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory, and it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the one touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency. and they just took control.